Hi, I'm Tina Gleisner at the Association of Women Homeowners, and I want to talk to you about babies and building houses. And you're probably struggling like, what in the world do they have to do? Well, a lot of you maybe have thought about building a house. It so happens when I built my house, I was also pregnant. So Ryan was born, Ryan's due date was July 16th, and we signed our contract for the house in January, and we were supposed to close by July 1st, 2 weeks before the baby came. Right. Well, it was a very fun experience, and probably the most important thing I learned about working with a builder is there's something like a conductor of an orchestra, because there are so many different subcontractors involved in building a house. That builder has to know all of his subcontractors. Not only that, just like playing music, the builder has to know who comes first, how long they're going to be there, and he has to pre-schedule everybody in order. And if you think that's tough, not only does he have to schedule when each contractor shows up on the site, he's also got to schedule the materials so that they're delivered not 2 weeks before they're needed, but the day they're needed. With a few exceptions, like your wood flooring does need to sit in the house for a while so that it can acclimate to the humidity level of your house, because you don't want it to change after it's installed. So we had a great builder, Gunner, and we learned a lot of lessons. We also learned that we had to stand up for what we wanted, because we used to get phone calls at 7 a.m. almost every morning. And it took us a couple of days to figure out that there was always one question or one request he had that we weren't going to give up on. And we finally used to say to him, Gunner, we can stay on the phone as long as you want. We're not going to give on this question. This is what we want. It worked out. We had a very good relationship throughout it. So let me tell you a little bit about that process, because it's amazing. It's complicated. You do have a very important role, though, throughout the home building process. And I'd suggest you focus on, first of all, up front, making sure you really understand what your requirements are, getting those written down on paper so they don't get lost anywhere. And then, as the house is built, you need to be on that job site at least once or twice a week to make sure that you're happy with the quality of what's happening. I can tell you the first problem my husband caught was the excavator didn't dig out the foundation exactly where we wanted it. Guess what? He had to come back and finish the job the right way the next day. If my husband hadn't caught that on time, we probably couldn't have done anything about it. I caught the plumber in the basement, and he was starting to put in all of the pipes to run the water. And he was running them through the room that was going to be my husband's workshop. And I had to explain to him that I wanted all of the pipes to run around the perimeter of the room. And he said, well, I don't know where the windows are. And I said, well, let me go get the plans for you, because they'll tell you exactly where those windows are going. And boy, he wasn't happy with me, but I got what I wanted. Building a house is really, really complicated, and that general contractor needs to be on that job each and every day, making sure the right guys are there doing the right job. They need to know that after the excavation's done, the foundation's poured, the house, the framing was amazing. It took a month to get the foundation done. That framing was done in a week. And then you have to know that the plumbers and the electricians have to get in there after the outside sheathing is up, but before the insulation goes in or the sheetrock goes up. There really is an order, and unless you've built a lot of houses, you won't know what goes on when. So appreciate your builder, and you'll get the house you want. You'll get it on budget. I actually came in about 2% over budget, although everybody will recommend you want to allow 10 to 20% contingency, because there are a lot of things that happen through the construction process. The reason I was able to make it happen so fast was I took a lot of time up front. I had 4 pages of specifications written up front. That's why I was able to manage that budget. You can too. Take some time to learn, to put your thoughts on paper, to negotiate with your builder, and you'll end up with a great house. And the lesson learned here is play your role, partner with your builder, and together you'll get exactly what you want. Thanks. Come back here. If you're building a house, we'll have all the tips you need to build your house too.